We're going to begin the Shen, the fire water spirit practice. Close your eyes, sit comfortably with your feet firmly on the floor or standing if you prefer. Body neutral. Let your consciousness drift out of your minds from your waking state to the back of your head, down through your throat, down to your chest cavity, where it rests above high clouds. Your consciousness drifts down through the high clouds, past the sun itself, until it sees a mountaintop, and it drifts down past the peak of the highest mountaintop, through the misty clouds surrounding that mountain, down to the green, verdant fields, and from the green, verdant fields across the water to a small island that has a hut with a simple pine tree standing on either side. We let our consciousness stand upon that island, taking a breath in a moment to appreciate and enjoy the scenery. The clouds high in the sky, the sun peering through below the clouds, the tall peak of the mountain in the distance, shrouded and veiled in misty clouds, above green, verdant fields, across a blue waterway, until we see the shore of the island that we stand upon. And a small version of yourself, the consciousness you brought down, matches you in either your seated position or your standing position, as it understands that it's standing before a small pile of wood in a campsite. And as you look to the small pile of wood, a force of your will and an aspect of your spirit combine, and with a little spark, the fire starts to burn. And as the fire of your spirit and your will starts to burn, we choose to fuel it by giving it the wind that we breathe in and out as its fuel for itself, and we blow upon that fire. Letting our body move like the bellows of the breeze to move and blow on that fire. And as the fire starts to get bigger to a campfire, we're going to breathe more and more intently. When the fire gets bigger and bigger, it's a full-size campfire now. When the fire gets bigger and bigger, we move our whole body to embellish the fire. Picking up our speed as the fire increases in its speed. Until the fire is all around us and we become one with the fire. Our fingers dancing like the fire, the body moving like the arms, the fire. Torso moving like the body, the fire. The feet on fire like the core and the embers of the fire burning itself. And we breathe as intensely as we can. On the count of 3, we're going to summon up all our dissonant Shei-Chi, all our incorrect things, all our pathogenic factors. We're going to spit them out, vomit them out upon the fire. 1, deep breaths. 2, 3, and with that, the fire burns, smolders, incinerates, transforms, and corrects that Shei-Chi, and with an explosion, pop! A single ember floats up. And as that ember floats up, our consciousness drifts up with that ember, one with that ember, up higher and higher. Higher still until the fire becomes smaller. We're high above the islands, high above the mountaintop, up higher and higher still until the earth itself is a mere simple dot, way, way, way below us. And as we drift up higher and even higher still, coming lighter and lighter, higher and higher, we come before the sun itself. And as we get closer to the sun becomes bigger and bigger, till all we can see in all directions is the sun, and feeling its warmth, its joy, the laughter it brings of a nice summer warm day, the compassion it has of shining on all things equally, regardless of their status or posture. And taken from the sun through the palms of our hands and our middle fingers, we let that warmth, that energy, that light, that orangey red color to flow into us, in through the arms to our hearts, where we store it within the heart itself. We pull it in deeper and deeper with each breath. Pulling in more and more of that orangey red color, filling the heart until it shines light out from the heart, that same warmth, love, and compassion the sun shines upon people, shining out from our own hearts. We take our hands and reach deep into the center of the sun, to the core, the essence of the sun itself, the seed of its own creation and being, and with the middle fingers and thumbs, we grab a core little nugget of that sun, the simple ember, the beginning of its spirit itself, swallow it down, store it deep in the storage vault of your own heart. Feel that warmth circulate through your body as you yourself become the sun, as that sunlight shines bigger and brighter from your heart out through your chest, from your chest through your body, through your shoulders and hips to your arms and legs, from your arms and legs to your feet and hands, and out in all directions, as if you are the sun itself shining in all directions. And we drift back away from the sun. As the sun drifts further away and we settle down back towards the earth, deeper and deeper towards the earth, settling back down and past the clouds, past the top of the mountain, across the waterway, back to the islands, where the fire is much smaller. Been away from it for some time, unkept. It's just a few embers burning lightly in the sand. And as we look up to the sky, the sun begins to set, and the nighttime stars begin to shine. And the twinkling light of the stars reflected off the water before you. And the moon begins to drift up over the top of the mountain to take prominence in the sky. And as nighttime begins to descend upon you, small droplets of rain hit the trees around you. You hear the droplets tip-tap, pitter-patter on the leaves and the ground around you, and the small hiss of each of the droplets hitting the fire. And as the rain begins to intensify, it begins to rain and shower, and the rain becomes pouring rain, becomes a monsoon of water, torrents of water pouring down, waterfalls upon you. You look to the fire, and the fire has been extinguished, and now there's a pond. And the pond begins to grow in size, and the pond itself becomes a lake, and the lake becomes the ocean, and the oceans reach up as if they've covered the entire island. You look around, and you see that you're standing on nothing other than the water around you. And everything around in existence in all directions become the deepest, darkest water. And through the consciousness of our spirits and the forces of our will, we descend our sounds deep into the water. We dive in through the surface, the refreshing, cool water, calming us down, cooling us. We descend deeper and deeper to the depths of the ocean, and the light becomes dimmer, the water becomes darker. We get deeper, it becomes cooler and stiller, quieter and calmer, until we stand upon the floor of the ocean itself. Stand upon the floor of the ocean itself, and through a force of the will, a force of our kidneys, and a yearning to go deeper and reach the core of water itself, we push ourselves through the earth at the bottom of the ocean, down deep through the soil, through the dirt, through the earth, until we find ourselves in a cavern, the grotto of water itself. And we sit in this grotto of water, stalactites and stalagmites, and a waterfall that falls, and a great pond. We walk ourselves into the ponds, sit ourselves deep into the water, and submerge ourselves into the water, grabbing that water and putting our hands onto the lower back, filling the kidneys themselves with the essence of that water as we resonate the sound, hi, 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 contracting the muscles of the abdomen with each hi, 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 so we can feel the kidneys in our hands pulse, hi, 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 drifting deeper and deeper into the grotto itself, hi, 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 deeper and deeper, stiller and stiller, hi, 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 until all things become still. And after some time, as the kidneys have become fully nourished, filled to their brim with that deep violet blue water, we raise ourselves up from the depths of the water of the grotto, up through the earthen ceiling above us, up through the depths of the darkest, deepest ocean, up to the mid-waters, to the surface waters, up to the top of the ocean, to the surface itself, to once again to sit upon the shore of the island. Having sit upon the shore of the islands, we look up to the heavens and see the sun above and all of its radiant, glorious beauty, benevolently and compassionately shining its light and its love upon all things equally, with unconditional love, unconditional joy, and warmth and nourishment that brings us joy and love. And taking in that sun as it shines down upon us, we divert our attention to the waters before us that cool and nourish, that are calm and still at their deepest depths, that at their surface reflect the water, reflect the light of the sun back up to itself as it glistens and sparkles and twinkles. And take note of the sun within our own bodies, our heart, our center of love, our center of joy, our center of compassion. And our kidneys, our sense of stillness, our sense of nourishment, our source of energy, our source of willpower, determination, reproduction, and fate. And as our sun shines down upon the water of the kidneys reflects its light back up. And I begin to dance the dance between the two as we express the warmth of the sun back down to the water of the kidneys. Hi. Ah. Hi. Ah. Hi. Ah. Hi. Ah. Hi. Ah. Hi. Ah. Dance like you're the water shining all directions. Hi. And the light that shines down to the water. Ah. Hi. Once more. Ah. Hi. And like with all practices, we want to reaffirm our borders, Gonna rub our hands together, feeling the yang and the yin of both sides of our body meeting together. The friction causing warmth, that warmth being love and vitality and chi. Gonna rub them together, squeeze them together. If they pop, they pop. Rub the face, rub the eyes, rub the nose. Swish the saliva around the inside of your mouth. Click the teeth together. Cover your ears. Open them back up. Cover them. Open them. Cover them. Open them. Breathe in. Tap down the body. Down the outsides of the arms. Both sides. Up the insides. Down the outsides of the legs. Up the insides of your legs. Across the belly. Up the face. The back. Take a deep breath in. Open the eyes. See the world again for the first time with the curiosity of a newborn child. Everything new and different, because this is the first time that you've had this moment in your life. And every moment you have is the first new moment that you have. And take some deep breaths and settle yourself down. And that's the Kan Li Shen Gong in the simple format. There are more in-depth practices we can go into with this and add more time and duration to it. But feel free to experiment with it in that form. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. Let me know your experiences, your visions, your thoughts, the stories you've told yourself through the practice, and maybe even how your life has changed after doing the practice. I look forward to hearing from you. Chi Shirai, be well, and live life fully.